Could you tell us a little bit why you became involved in High Noon?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up, really in the world, and I just like learned from all my, from culture, and especially about girls and dating, that kind of stuff. And that's how I learned about love, is by breaking people's hearts and having my heart broken in such an inefficient way. So when I kind of met God, or like really started to like invest in like what is this God thing? And that was great. And that really helped me personally. But when I looked out into the world and saw the state of like my friends and, the next generation in terms of sex, I was like, oh my God, this is where we're headed. If we don't deal with this thing, we're done for. So I
Mm-hmm.
just like, I stopped everything, and I just became full time with High Noon. As like, I went around the country first, and then now
Right.
the world, just kind of being the town crier, to be like, yo, this is happening. Do you care or not?
Right.
I don't care if you care, but if you care, let's do something about
Mm. And Sammy, same question to you. What made you get involved in High Noon?
Well, it was through their work with porn, talking about porn, something that no one was ever talking about prior. And it's something near and dear to my heart. Like, I struggled a lot growing up. And then a momentous amount of effort, I was able to break away from porn and masturbating. And then later on, I got blessed, and I could see how helpful that was for me. And I was really
Wow.
grateful for having that like support. That I was lucky to have the right people in my life. And um it was something I knew a lot of people were struggling with. And so, I'd occasionally bring it up for people, but I never knew actually to help anyone. And so then I heard about what High Noon was doing. And it started with Andrew. He was just posting stuff on Facebook, and I thought it was really cool. And just little by little, I got more and more involved. And I just started to see the bigger picture of what High Noon was all about, just dealing with real things. It was more than just porn, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
one very real part of people's lives. It was just dealing with the reality of what
Mm.
people face, and then
Mm.
not forgetting, this dream, this vision or ideal that we have, but acting as a bridge between, that thing that we want to
Mm-hmm.
be and where we actually are.
Mm.
And I can't think of anything better to invest my time in.
True. It's pretty dope. And could you tell us a little bit about High Noon for the audience who doesn't know or aren't aware of High Noon and what they do?
All right, sure. Andrew is metaphorically handing me the mic. So High Noon is a nonprofit organization founded by a blessed couple, the Wolfenbergers. They live outside of Seattle, Washington. And that's part of what makes, I think, High Noon so remarkable. It's not a like church initiated program. It's just this one blessed couple who were never any kind of church leader. They're just they're involved in their local community with camps and things like that. And they just care a lot, and they have a very successful crab business, and they have an incredible marriage and a really wonderful
Wow.
family. And they just wanted to take a lot of the blessings they had, and they wanted other people to have that as well, especially blessings. They knew a lot of couples struggle in their blessings and wanted to provide support and resources for those couples to have a happy relationship. And so it started out with
Mm-hmm.
like a marriage retreat, and they got a team of different blessed couples, first and second gen, together to create this weekend program. And the idea was that, so many couples, they were doing missionary kind of work, and then they never had the chance to have a nice couple experience. And so they created this program. There's the whole 9 yards. It's like you show up, you have your own, imagine you actually have your own room as a couple. You don't have to, fight for a sleeping bag and share the
Yeah.
floor with 50 other people.
What
And
heresy?
then, yeah.
That
And
goes
then,
against church ideals and morals.
and then it gets even better. Like, you go in the room, and there's like the chocolates on the pillows waiting for you, and just like a really nice experience. And then for people to feel like actually have like a romantic time together, where they're not having to, deal with all the logistical stuff in their life.
I've been to the marriage retreat. It was
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Oh, cool. That's which one did you go to?
I actually saved my marriage.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah,
can say that again, Justin.
we were not doing great, and then we went to the marriage retreat.
There you go.
Easily added another 6 months to our lives.
Only 6?
Well, we needed more than just that, but
Right.
Yeah, it's like
it
the
definitely,
starting.
it was definitely the starting point to
Mm,
Mhm.
I
a
see.
very
That's really
healthy
awesome to hear.
future. Yeah, we use that book that they give you, the binder with all like the lectures, the notes from all the
Right.
lectures.
Yeah.
We referenced that book like every day for months after
Mm.
we wore it down,
That's
man.
that's so cool. And that whole team they're just warm their hearts to hear that. I'm gonna make sure to share that with them. But which retreat did you go to? Or
It
where
was two
was it
years
also?
ago, and it was somewhere in the Poconos, I think.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And so that retreat was the beginning. And through doing those, they started to get a really clear look at a lot of the common issues that couples deal with.
Mhm.
And one of them that kept coming up again and again was porn.
Okay.
And it was real. Uncle David, he realized, wow, it's not just like a one-off thing that,
Right.
person here, person there's dealing with. It's like basically almost everybody. And so
Mm,
he recognized the need to address that specifically. And that became a huge focus of High Noon for a long time, was first just educating and helping people become aware of, hey, this is a very prevalent issue that's
mhm.
seeped its way into a lot of people's lives. And then we started developing from there, and we needed people were grateful for that, but then they're like, oh, thanks so much for talking about this. What can I do? Like, can you help me? And then we realized, oh, we should probably provide a little more than just, raise sounding alarms, right? So we worked on recovery material to be able to help people actually to deal with their porn, the masturbation issues.
Mhm.
And then we started diving deep into, so we're helping people break away from these things that are obviously not what they want in their life, but how can we help people get clear on what like a knock your socks off incredible vision for sex is, and like what is
Right.
like the best sex can be. And we
Mhm.
started really diving into that and searching True Parents words for, they talk a lot about absolute sex, sexual organs. How does that actually translate into our lives? And what
Mm,
did God actually want for sex? When True Father talks about thunderstorms and earth shaking orgasms, like how do we actually get there?
right.
Right. um so that's the kind of the progression of High Noon, and I'll let Andrew add whatever he wants to, fill in some gaps.
Perfect.
Yeah, let me just pepper it with a little bit of emotion here. There's a clear and desperate need for this work, and basically nobody was up for the task, to be
Uh-huh.
honest.
Okay.
And then the Wolfenbergers stepped up to the plate and put a bunch of money behind it,
Mhm.
and then and their heart, more importantly, their heart, and that allowed us to kind of create something that really couldn't exist otherwise. I think most big institutions want to keep it at length and just say, can you guys just deal with it, because it's such a deeply personal problem that it's kind of like, if you scratch this problem, you got to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then all of a sudden it's like it's what you're all about. So we just decided to make that what we're all about, which is like, we want to be the people that just deal with sex, the one thing that affects every single one of us, but nobody has a place to kind of deal with it. Like, talk about the
Right.
negative parts of sex that we've dealt with in our
Mhm.
life, but also talk about creating a vision. And that's really what we started out with, like, okay, let's identify the problem, and we got really good at that.
Okay.
But then now we've been investing a lot of time in, well, what's the opposite of that? Like, what's the purpose of sexuality? What does it look like to be single in this world? What does it look like to be a thriving individual who has sexual integrity as a person? And then what does a couple look like? And then what does a family look like? And then what does a culture look like of
Mhm.
healthy, happy, God-centered sexuality? And it doesn't look like avoidance. It doesn't look like hiding. It looks like a celebration of something that's fundamentally true.
I
So we're
see.
just trying to now we're really defining what that is for us, and helping people to create their own visions for their own, what is sexual integrity to you, so that they can be that. Because in the
Mm,
absence of a vision, you will just settle for whatever you're exposed to. And for most people, that's pop culture or it's porn or whatever. And that just lowers your expectations for what love is, what relationships is, and definitely what sex is. And it cheapens the whole thing. So we're trying to show
okay.
people, yo, you could have so much more. You could have the moon. Don't settle for the dirt, or like I don't know, the dirt underneath the garbage bins. You know, like the whole cosmos is yours.
Okay.
And God created this thing for us to have everything. Don't settle for anything less. And
Mhm.
when we talk like this, it really stimulates people's original mind, but it's so foreign to most people. So
Yeah.
we're basically chartering new territory, stuff that True Father talked about a lot, but he was like a million years ahead of everybody else.
Right.
And even people who are were just like, how do I deal with that as well as everything else that I'm asked for? So people just kind of put that generally to the side. But now it's the time that we deal with it. Because if we don't, you guys know, like you were raised in this world. If we don't deal with it now, the fake sex is going to consume us all.
Right.
There's no option. Human trafficking and all that is just going to be the byproduct.